Good morning, doctor. Good morning. We are today with Dr. Manish Vaish. He's a brain and spine surgeon and quite a renowned surgeon too. And he right now practices at the Max Super Speciality in Vaishali. Though of course he's attached to a few more hospitals, as I understand. So brain and spine, these are two areas which I think see a lot of trauma and injuries. So what are the common kinds of injuries that you normally come across?
Generally, there are two kinds of broadly classifiable injuries. One which happens in road traffic accidents, and secondly, when they fall from the heights, like under constructed buildings or children's playing under the kites and all. So those cases, the patient they fall down and sustain the injuries. And road traffic accident, of course, is quite common, rather most common form of injury in our country. And the main cause of happening injury to the head is when you're not wearing a helmet. Driving in a awfully lot speed or rash driving, and just when you hit up something, the head gets banged and the brain gets injured. While for the spine injury is a most common form of injury is a seat belt injury, where you are not wearing a seat belt and you're thrown out of a dashboard, or you just sustain a whiplash injury like this, and this sudden movement is there and patient sustain injuries. And if you reach hospital in time and proper attention is given, there is good chance of having a good useful recovery after the spinal injury.
But it does cause death.
Yes, they do cause death. Severe head injury with having a normal brain scan, but patient has suffered a hypoxic brain injury, or the whole brain has sustained a diffuse axonal injury, what we call. In those cases, the scan may be normal. The patient will be unconscious. And on the contrary, a patient sustained a large hematoma on the surface, taken out immediately or within time, patient does go back to their normal working life. Like in spine injury, if there is a spinal cord is crushed, it's very rare to get improved. You can at the best, you can be on a wheelchair or assisted living, but having a spine injury to me is much more worse than sustaining any other injury. Cervical spine injury, patient having not working all four limbs, what we call in common parlance is quadriplegia, means all four limbs not working. That is the worst thing can happen to the person. Person is conscious, unable to move the limbs, is the worst thing that can happen. So I'll advise strictly to be driving safe, do not drink and drive, and follow traffic rules.
Right.